a spoon, a bowl of soup, a painted nectarine, a stolen helicopter. These are not props from a movie, these are real tools used in real prison escapes. Some of these men dug for months. Some walked out the front door. One had his wife learn to fly a helicopter just to pick him up. These are the 10 most insane prison escapes in history. And number 1 is so unbelievable that the prison built a museum exhibit about him. Number 10, John Dillinger, the fake gun. It is March 1934. John Dillinger is America's public enemy number 1, bank robber, killer, the FBI's most wanted man. He is locked in Crown Point Jail, Indiana. Officials call it escape-proof. Dillinger carves a piece of wood into the shape of a pistol. He darkens it with boot polish. He points his fake wooden gun at the guards and walks out of the escape-proof jail. Then he steals the sheriff's car, a brand new Ford V8, and drives himself to freedom. The FBI was humiliated, the sheriff lost his job, and Dillinger became a folk hero. Number 9, Libby Prison, Rat Hell. February 1864. The American Civil War. Over 1,000 Union officers are crammed into a converted tobacco warehouse in Richmond, Virginia. The basement is so infested with rats that the prisoners call it Rat Hell. Colonel Thomas Rose leads a team of 15 men. They dig a tunnel from the basement, using only pocket knives and a chisel. The tunnel stretches over 15 meters, through dirt, through sewage, through a space so narrow that men get stuck and have to be pulled out by their ankles. On the night of February 9th, 109 Union officers crawl through the tunnel, one by one, into the streets of Richmond. 59 make it to Union lines. The rest are recaptured. It remains the largest prison escape of the Civil War. Number 8. The Great Escape. March 1944. Stalag Luft 3, a German prisoner of war camp designed specifically to prevent tunneling. The ground is sandy yellow. Any dirt on a prisoner's clothes is instantly visible. Microphones are buried underground to detect digging. The Allied prisoners dig 3 tunnels. They name them Tom, Dick, and Harry. Tunnel Harry runs over 100 meters long and 9 meters deep, dug with spoons and tin cans over 15 months. They hide the yellow sand in their trouser legs, sprinkling it across the compound during exercise walks. On March 24th, 76 men crawl through the tunnel. 3 make it all the way home, 73 are recaptured, 50 are executed on Hitler's direct orders. 3 men, out of 76, made it, and the world never forgot. Number 7. The Texas 7. December 13, 2000. The Connolly Unit, a maximum security prison in Kennedy, Texas. 7 inmates are serving sentences ranging from 30 years to life. They have nothing to lose. They overpower civilian maintenance workers during a shift change, steal their clothes, their IDs, their truck. Then they walk out of a maximum security prison dressed as employees, in broad daylight. They rob a sporting goods store on Christmas Eve. A police officer is shot and killed. The manhunt lasts over a month. 1 commits suicide before capture. The other 6 are caught after a viewer recognizes them from America's Most Wanted. It was the largest prison break in Texas history, and they pulled it off by pretending to be the maintenance crew. Number 6. El Chapo, the mile-long tunnel. July 11, 2015. Altiplano Federal Prison, Mexico. Maximum security, the most guarded facility in the country. Joaquin Guzman, the head of the Sinaloa cartel, steps into the shower in his cell and disappears. Under the shower floor is a 50-centimeter opening. It drops 10 meters straight down into a tunnel. The tunnel is over 1.5 kilometers long, fully lit, ventilated, and fitted with a modified motorcycle on rails. He rides a motorcycle through an underground tunnel for a mile and emerges in a half-built house, then vanishes. It took the Mexican government 6 months to find him again. They only caught him after he agreed to an interview with an American actor. A billion-dollar drug lord, a mile-long tunnel, a motorcycle on rails. Even Hollywood couldn't write this. Number 5. Alcatraz, the escape that shouldn't be possible. June 11, 1962. Alcatraz Island, the most secure federal prison in the United States, surrounded by freezing water and deadly currents. Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin spend months chipping at the concrete walls behind their cells. Their tools? Sharpened spoons. They hollow out the ventilation ducts inch by inch, night after night, for over a year. To fool the guards during nightly checks, they build dummy heads, made from soap, toilet paper, and real human hair from the prison barbershop. The dummies are so convincing that the guards don't notice they are missing until the next morning. They climb through the ducts, reach the roof, and descend to the shore. Their escape raft? Made from over 50 stolen raincoats, glued and stitched together, inflated with a concertina. They paddle into the dark water of San Francisco Bay and vanish. The FBI searched for 17 years. No bodies were ever found. The case was officially closed in 1979. In 2013, a letter arrived at the San Francisco Police Department. It allegedly came from John Anglin. It said, "We made it. Nobody knows if that letter is real. Nobody knows if they survive." And that is exactly what makes this the greatest unsolved escape in history. Number 4. Maze Prison. 38 men, 1 food truck. September 25, 1983. HM Prison Maze, Northern Ireland. The most heavily guarded prison in Europe. 38 IRA prisoners have been planning for months. They have smuggled 6 handguns into the prison piece by piece. At 2:30 in the afternoon, they seize control of an entire cell block. They overpower the guards using the smuggled weapons. They steal guard uniforms, they hijack a food delivery truck, and they drive it straight through the prison gates. 38 men, in 1 truck, through the front gate of the most secure prison in Europe. 19 are caught within hours, but the other 19 disappear. Some are never found. It is the largest prison escape in British history to this day. Number 3. Michelle Vaujour, the wife who learned to fly. May 1986. La Santé Prison, Paris. Michel Vaujour is serving a long sentence for armed robbery and attempted murder. His wife Nadine has a plan. She spends months secretly taking helicopter flying lessons. She tells the flight school she wants a new hobby. Meanwhile, Michel collects nectarines from the prison cafeteria. He paints them to look like grenades. On escape day, he waves his painted fruit at the guards and forces his way onto the prison roof. Nobody calls his bluff. His wife lands a rented helicopter on the roof of a maximum security prison in the middle of Paris. He climbs in. They fly away. They land on a football field. A car is waiting. They drive off. She learned to fly a helicopter. He used fruit as weapons. And it worked. They were caught 3 days later after Michel tried to rob a bank. Some people cannot help themselves. Number 2. Pascal Payet, the man who escaped by helicopter 3 times. If you think one helicopter escape is impressive, meet Pascal Payet, a French convicted murderer who treated prison like a revolving door. Escape 1. October 2001. His accomplices hijack a helicopter and landed on the roof of a village prison. Payet climbs aboard. Gone. Escape 2. 2003. While still a fugitive, Payet goes back to the same prison, in a helicopter, and breaks out 3 more inmates. He is eventually caught, sentenced to 30 years, transferred to a high-security facility. End of story, right? No. Escape 3. July 2007. 4 masked men hijack yet another helicopter. They force the pilot to fly to Payet's prison. They land on the roof with sawed-off shotguns, blast through the security doors, walk out with Payet, fly away. He holds the world record for most successful helicopter prison escapes. 3. That is a record nobody else is trying to beat. Payet was eventually recaptured in Spain. France now installs nets and cables over prison courtyards. Because of him. But nothing on this list compares to number 1. Number 1. Yoshie Shiratori, the man no prison could hold. Between 1936 and 1947, a Japanese man named Yoshie Shiratori escaped from 4 different prisons, each one more secure than the last. He used wire, he used miso soup, he dislocated his own shoulders, he dug a tunnel with a soup bowl. Escape 1. 1936. Aomori Prison. Shiratori is convicted of a murder he insists he did not commit. He studies the guards' patrol schedule for months. He finds a 15-minute gap. He picks the cell lock with a metal wire stolen from the bathhouse. He walks out. 3 days later, he is caught stealing supplies from a hospital. Sentenced to life. Escape 2. 1942. Akita Prison. A specially designed cell with high ceilings, smooth copper walls, and a sealed skylight. Escape-proof. Unless you are Yoshie Shiratori. Every night during storms, he climbs the smooth walls and loosens the wooden frame around the skylight, bit by bit, for months. On a stormy night, he pries the skylight open and disappears into the rain. The storm covers his footsteps. Escape 3. 1944. Abashiri Prison. Japan's northernmost prison, the country's version of Alcatraz. No one had ever escaped. They fit him with iron handcuffs so heavy that only a blacksmith can remove them. Every morning, Shiratori drips miso soup on the handcuffs and on the bolts of the food slot in his cell door. The salt in the miso corrodes the metal. Slowly, over 6 months, the iron weakens, the bolts soften. On August 26, 1944, during a wartime blackout, he snaps the weakened handcuffs. Then he dislocates both of his shoulders. He squeezes his entire body through the tiny food slot in the cell door, a gap smaller than his head. He walks out of Abashiri prison in his underwear. In the middle of the night, in northern Japan, he lives in an abandoned mine for over a year, eating berries, hunting rabbits, hiding from the world. He is eventually caught after a farmer confronts him. The farmer dies in the struggle. Shiratori is sentenced to death. Escape for 1947. Sapporo prison. They build him a custom cell. High walls. Windows smaller than his face. 6 guards watching him around the clock. The guards focus on the ceiling. They watch the walls. They watch the window. They forget about the floor. Shiratori unscrews the floorboards, using a piece of metal from his wash basin. He hides the tool inside a tube filled with excrement. The guards never inspect it, because nobody wants to inspect a tube of excrement. Night after night, he digs a tunnel beneath his cell. His digging tool? A miso soup bowl, 2 meters through the earth. He piles snow from outside as a foothold and climbs over the outer wall. The guards check his cell the next morning. They see what looks like Shiratori asleep under his blanket. It is a pile of loose floorboards arranged under a blanket. He has been gone for hours. He lives as a fugitive for nearly a year. Then one day, a police officer offers him a cigarette. The kindness breaks him. Shiratori has spent his entire life being treated like an animal by guards. This one small act of decency is more than he can handle. He looks at the officer and says, "My name is not what I told you. My name is Yoshie Shiratori." He turns himself in. The court overturns his death sentence. They rule the farmer's death as self-defense. He serves 14 years. He never tries to escape again. Why? Because for the first time in his life, the guards at his new prison treated him like a human being. Yoshie Shiratori died of a heart attack in 1979 at the age of 71. A free man. Abashiri Prison. The facility he escaped from in his underwear using miso soup and dislocated shoulders is now a museum. Inside that museum is a life-size mannequin of Shiratori climbing through his cell's food slot in his underwear. Visitors take photos with it, children point and laugh. Guards once tried everything to keep him inside. Now they sell tickets to tell his story. 4 prisons, 4 escapes, miso soup, dislocated shoulders, a tunnel dug with a bowl, and all he ever wanted was to be treated like a person.